You tap your phone. No cash, no coins. Just a beep, and suddenly, a cup of coffee is yours. It takes half a second. You don't even think about it. But here's the weird part. If you looked at your screen right now, no physical gold changed hands. No paper bills moved. Just invisible numbers changing inside computers. So, how did humans buy anything before money existed? If you were a human living 10,000 years ago, you didn't have a wallet, you didn't have a bank account, a salary, or a price tag. If you were hungry, you hunted. If you needed clothes, you made them. And in many small hunter-gatherer groups, if your neighbor caught more fish than they could eat before it spoiled, they just shared it. Why? Because small tribes survive by helping each other. Back then, survival wasn't an economic transaction. It was a community effort. Money wasn't necessary. Then humans did what humans always do. We gathered together. Villages turned into towns. Towns turned into cities. Suddenly, you were living surrounded by thousands of people you didn't even know. You made shoes. Someone else grew wheat. A third person raised goats. And you wanted some of that wheat. So, bartering began. Sounds simple until reality arrives. Imagine walking up to a farmer and saying, "I'll trade you a pair of shoes for your wheat." And the farmer looks at you and says, "I already have shoes. I need a goat." Oops, trade stops. Economists call this the coincidence of wants. You had to find someone who not only had what you needed, but desperately wanted whatever random thing you happened to be holding. If you had a surplus of pottery and you needed shoes, but the shoemaker only wanted fish, you were stuck. And it got even worse. Imagine trying to buy a loaf of bread with half a goat, or paying a builder with chickens. Some things were too big to divide. Others spoiled before you could trade them. Even when two people wanted to trade, it was slow, complicated, and often impossible. The bigger human societies became, the bigger this problem became. Humans didn't invent money overnight. They spent thousands of years experimenting. Different civilizations tried completely different things. Shells, salt, cattle, beads, anything that everyone would accept, even if they didn't need it themselves. Humans had accidentally discovered something extraordinary. Value didn't have to live inside an object. It could live inside a shared belief. That's a strange idea when you think about it. A shell only has value because everyone agrees it does. A coin only has value because everyone agrees it does. Even a paper note is just paper. What people were really exchanging wasn't metal, it was trust. They weren't magical, you couldn't eat them, they couldn't keep you warm. But they solved one enormous problem. Everyone agreed they mattered. Eventually, we melted metal into coins. Later, we printed paper. Imagine being the first person in history told that a thin piece of paper could buy you a cow, or a house, or a meal. It sounds ridiculous. It only worked because everyone trusted everyone else. Money wasn't invented because paper is valuable. Money was invented because trust is difficult. And today, it gets even stranger. Most of the money in your life doesn't even exist physically. Your salary, your savings, your investments, they aren't stacks of green paper sitting in a vault. They are mostly just numbers glowing inside computer servers. You probably never ask your employer whether those numbers are real. You never ask your supermarket whether they'll accept them tomorrow. You simply assume they will, because billions of other people make the exact same assumption. Yet you work for them. You stress over them. You hand them over to strangers every single day. Why? Because trust expanded. It stopped being an agreement between two neighbors in a dusty village, and it became an agreement shared by an entire civilization. Tomorrow, you'll tap your phone again. The coffee will become yours, not because your phone created value, not because those digital numbers have any weight in your hand, but because millions of people, from the barista to your bank to complete strangers you'll never meet, all agree that those invisible numbers mean something. Money isn't paper. Money isn't metal. Money is one of the biggest shared stories humans have ever believed. And civilization works because almost everyone keeps believing it.